All right, so we're diving into Hamlet, and we're starting with Act 1, Scene 2.
Sounds good.
You've got this big speech from King Claudius, but it's only been, what, like 2 months since his brother, the former king, died?
Yeah, 2 months.
And he's already married the widowed Queen Gertrude.
Yeah, talk about a whirlwind romance.
It's a little eyebrow-raising, to say the least.
He raises eyebrows, right. And that's exactly what Shakespeare wants us to think about. This scene just throws us right into the heart of Elsinore, where things are not always what they seem.
So Claudius is giving this speech, all about moving on and sending ambassadors to Norway.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like he's trying to distract everyone from the fact that he married his dead brother's wife.
Exactly. Like he's putting on a performance of business as usual, just trying to solidify his power and control.
It's that classic high school scenario.
Oh, yeah.
You want to seem cool and in control even when things are a mess underneath.
Right.
And Claudius is like the master of that.
He grants Laertes permission to go back to France, so he seems generous.
Yeah.
And it earns him favor with Polonius.
Oh, totally.
So strategic, maintaining that image.
Clever, but a bit manipulative, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it sets the stage for the conflict with Hamlet, who sees right through it all.
And that brings us to one of the most famous lines in the play.
Okay.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
Mm-hmm.
Hamlet just mutters this under his breath.
Yeah.
Like he's thinking out loud.
Right. It's called an aside, and it lets the audience in on his true feelings.
Yeah.
He can't say it out loud, so he kind of thinks it to himself.
So much pressure to act a certain way, right?
Right?
Especially those tricky family situations.
Exactly.
Speaking of family drama, Claudius and Gertrude are trying to get Hamlet to snap out of his morning cheer up.
Get over it, they're saying.
But Hamlet delivers this incredible speech
Mm-hmm.
about the depth of his grief.
Yes.
He's hinting that things are not what they seem.
Powerful moment, foreshadowing all the turmoil to come.
And then just when you think it can't get any more intense,
Oh, yeah.
Horatio bursts in
Dun, dun, dun.
with huge news.
What's that?
The ghost of Hamlet's father has been seen.
Oh, wow. Cue the spooky music.
I know, right?
Imagine you're in the classroom and someone brings up a ghost.
Yeah.
Everyone's attention is immediately grabbed.
That's the ultimate cliffhanger.
Right.
The scene ends with Hamlet vowing to meet the ghost and uncover the truth.
Oh, this is big. This is where Hamlet's quest for revenge really kicks off, and we start to see the supernatural element that will drive so much of the play.
I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too.
But we'll have to save that for our next deep dive.
Sounds good. So it's like that moment when the teacher drops a bombshell, right? And everyone leans in wanting to hear more.
I get it.
The ghost's appearance raises so many questions.
Totally.
Is it real? Is it some kind of warning? Or is Hamlet just losing his mind?
That's deep. And how would a high school student even wrap their head around this whole ghost situation? Is it just spooky fun? Or is Shakespeare saying something bigger about, guilt or the afterlife or even the power of our imagination?
Exactly. It's brilliant. It sparks all this discussion and debate. And don't forget the characters themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They're so complex and relatable, even centuries later.
Okay, look, who is Hamlet?
Yeah.
He's dealing with grief and anger and now this ghostly apparition.
It's enough to make anyone's head spin.
It really is. And he's just a teenager.
Right. Thrown into this crazy situation, forced to question everything he thought he knew.
And then you've got Claudius, who seems to be playing the role of the perfect king.
Mm-hmm.
But something feels off.
Totally. He's all about appearances and maintaining control.
Yeah.
Students can really dig into this idea of power, you know, how it's portrayed and how it can be seductive but also corrupting.
It's like the popular clique in school. They might seem to have it all,
Yeah.
but they're often dealing with their own issues behind the scenes.
Right. Good analogy. And then there's Gertrude, caught in this whole web of family drama and political maneuvering.
She's a tough one to figure out.
She is. Is she a victim, a manipulator, or just trying to do the best she can in a difficult situation?
I don't know. It's a question that's still debated by scholars today.
It is. And that's what makes Shakespeare so amazing.
Yeah.
His characters are so nuanced and multi-layered that they just invite us to think critically and form our own interpretations.
So we can't forget about the minor characters, too.
Oh, of course. Not at all.
Like Horatio.
Yeah.
He's like the loyal best friend, the voice of reason in all this chaos.
He is. He's that friend you can always count on. The one who keeps you grounded when things get tough.
Absolutely. And then there were the guards, Marcellus and Barnardo.
Right.
They
Yeah.
actually witness the ghost firsthand.
They do, and their reactions just add to the suspense and the mystery.
It's like those stories you hear about people encountering something unexplained.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you question what's real and what's imagined.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the ghost itself.
Yeah.
What does it represent? Is it a symbol of guilt, vengeance, or something else entirely?
It's like that age-old question.
I know, right?
What happens after we die?
It's a question that can definitely spark some great discussions in the classroom.
I think so.
Students can explore different interpretations. They can use evidence from the text to support their arguments.
And it's not just about the what, but the how.
Yeah,
Shakespeare's language is so rich and evocative.
it is. It adds a whole other layer of meaning to the play.
For sure. Like when Hamlet describes the world as an unweeded garden,
Oh, yeah.
full of things rank and gross in nature.
You can practically feel his disgust and despair.
I know, right? And students can, like, dissect those powerful images and metaphors
They can't.
and uncover those deeper themes that Shakespeare is exploring.
It's like learning a secret code, unlocking the hidden messages within the text.
Yes. And that sense of discovery is what makes studying Shakespeare so rewarding.
Especially for young minds.
Yeah.
Just starting to grapple with these big ideas.
This whole scene is a goldmine for class discussions. You've got family drama, political intrigue, questions of morality and justice, and of course,
The ever-present specter of death.
right, it's like Shakespeare just took all the things that teenagers are already thinking about,
Oh, yeah.
identity relationships, the meaning of life,
Exactly.
and just amplified them on this grand stage.
He did. And he did it with wit and intelligence and a deep understanding of human nature. Now, before we move on,
Okay.
it's worth remembering that Shakespeare was writing for a very different audience
Oh, yeah, for sure.
than today's junior high and high school students.
Yeah. The language can be tough,
It can.
but that's also part of the fun.
It is. It's like solving a puzzle, deciphering the meaning behind those archaic words and phrases.
Right. And luckily, there are tons of resources to help students along the way.
There are annotated texts, online dictionaries, even film adaptations.
Plus, discussing the play with classmates and a teacher can really bring those characters and themes to life.
It can make it much more accessible and engaging, not so intimidating.
So we've talked about the ghost, the characters, the language, but what about the overall message of this scene? What do you think Shakespeare is trying to say?
That's a great question. On one level, it's a story about revenge
Yeah.
and the consequences of unchecked ambition.
Okay.
But on a deeper level, it's about the human condition, our capacity for both good and evil, the choices we make and the forces that shape our destiny.
Deep stuff.
It is. But it's stuff that's still relevant today,
I agree.
no matter your age.
Okay, so before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's think about how this scene sets the stage for the rest of the play.
All right, we've got Hamlet on this quest for truth and justice.
Yeah.
Claudius desperately clinging to power, and a whole cast of characters caught in the crossfire.
It's like a pressure cooker about to explode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As the play unfolds, those tensions are just going to rise. Secrets will be revealed, and the body count
Oh.
will unfortunately start to climb.
Okay, so remember, Hamlet's going to meet the ghost,
Oh, yeah.
and you can just feel the tension building up.
Definitely. It's like he's stepping into the unknown.
Yeah.
Both literally and figuratively.
For sure. And this is where things get really interesting, I think, especially for students.
Oh, how so?
Well, it raises all these questions about trust and doubt.
Okay, I see that.
Like, should Hamlet just automatically believe what the ghost tells him,
Right.
or could it be trying to trick him?
Good point. It's like when you hear a juicy rumor going around school
Yeah.
and you don't know if it's true or not.
Totally. You have to decide who to trust and how to react.
Exactly. And that's the dilemma Hamlet's facing. He's already suspicious of Claudius,
Right.
but now he has to consider the possibility that his uncle is a murderer.
Whoa.
Heavy stuff to deal with for anyone, let alone a teenager.
And to make matters worse,
Yeah.
he can't tell anyone about the ghost.
No, yeah.
Imagine trying to act normal at school when you're carrying around this huge secret,
It'd be tough.
like a ticking time bomb.
Definitely. And that inner turmoil is what makes Hamlet such a fascinating character.
I agree.
He's not some perfect hero, you know?
No.
He's just a human being struggling with these impossible choices.
And those struggles really come through in that final soliloquy.
Oh, absolutely. When he's all alone with his thoughts,
Yeah.
it's like we're looking right into his soul.
He's wrestling with so much.
He is grief, anger, confusion, and a desire for revenge.
But he's also scared of messing up.
Right, making the wrong move.
Yeah, like when he says, oh, that the two solid flesh would melt.
That line just gets me every time.
It's so powerful. You can feel his despair.
His longing for escape.
I think students can really relate to that feeling,
I do too.
being overwhelmed by emotions and just wanting to find a way out.
Exactly. But instead of giving into despair, he chooses action. He decides to confront the ghost and find out the truth no matter what.
That's a big decision.
It is. It sets him on a path that he can't turn back from.
And those last lines of the scene are so chilling.
Tell me about it.
Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
Wow.
It's like he's predicting the tragedy that's about to happen.
Right. It's a reminder that even if evil tries to hide it, will eventually be exposed.
And that's a message that's still so relevant today.
Absolutely.
So I guess to sum up,
Yeah.
Act 1, Scene 2 of Hamlet is just brilliant.
It is. It sets the stage so well. Introducing the characters, the conflicts, the big themes that we'll see throughout the whole play.
It also shows how Shakespeare uses language in such an amazing way.
Right. To create atmosphere, build suspense, and reveal what's going on in the characters' minds.
And for students, it's a chance to explore this world that's both familiar and strange.
It is. Dealing with things like family loyalty, betrayal, revenge, the search for truth.
It's a story that can really get them thinking.
Definitely. Make them question things and see the world in new ways.
So whether you're reading Hamlet for the first time or coming back to it,
Mm-hmm.
Act 1, Scene 2 is a journey worth taking.
It is. And who knows, maybe you'll even learn something new about yourself along the way.
That's a great point. Well, I think that about wraps it up for our deep dive into Act 1, Scene 2 of Hamlet.
It does. It was a pleasure talking with you about this amazing piece of literature.
Likewise. Until next time, happy reading, everyone.